So it's 2011 in Portugal, in a small fishing village off the Atlantic coast, where colossal waves explode from an ancient submarine canyon, drawing the eye of a pioneer in surfing, Garrett McNamara, to challenge the impossible. He does so, and what he does sets a record, 78 feet, the largest wave ever ridden. But it's not enough for him. He continues, he wants to go for 100, which he does. In 2013, with an unofficial run of 100 feet, he becomes the greatest big wave surfer of all time. And join us to see exactly how this little kid went from a cult to become the greatest big wave surfer ever. Today on Daily. Welcome to Daily Sports History. I'm Ethan Reese, your guide, because I once took a surf class and was able to stand up. So I know what I'm talking about. So Garrett was born in 1967 in Massachusetts, where all great surfers are born. No, he was born there but moved around a lot and would end up in Central America with his mother, where it was a sad point in his life. Essentially, this was a cult. His mother was subject to domestic violence, and him and his brother were left with little food and hungry for most days. But eventually, they were able to get out of that situation and move to Oahu, Hawaii in 1978. And this move would change his life forever, because we all know Hawaii, especially the North Shore, is a great place for surfing. So of course, Garrett was able to try surfing and fell in love. At the age of 11, he was a late starter, but took to it fast. He would join the pro circuit by the time he was 17 and actually became a pioneer in tow-in surfing. Now, tow-in surfing is when a jet ski or a boat, usually a jet ski, pulls you into the wave. Normally, what we see with waves is you paddle out yourself and you get up on your own to ride the wave. But when you're towed into the wave, you're able to get bigger waves because they're harder to catch manually. And he loved this, and he ended up winning the 2002 Jaws Tow World Cup and really loved this tow-in style. So after winning this, he really starts to look for the biggest wave possible. And in 2010, he gets a call from someone in Portugal, in the little town of Nazaré, where they have some of the biggest waves based off their geometry, with an underwater canyon that really allows waves to grow really big. And fishermen have told tales of losing sea monsters of waves over 70 feet tall. So he finally makes it out there, and he gets towed by a jet ski, and he ends up this tiny speck on this giant wave that is 78 feet tall. 78 feet tall. That is so big, and he makes it look effortlessly as he rides down this wave, as crowds in a lighthouse nearby are watching and cheering. And Garrett says it's the ride of his life, something that changed everything. This was a world record, the tallest wave ever ridden, but he's not done. He's at 78, and he's like, 100 sounds like a good number. I wish I could get to that number. So he continues to come back to this place every now and then. He comes back in January 2013 and gets towed into a wave that he thinks is going to be big, but nothing special. And it goes crazy as the wave builds height and more height and more height. And it gets smaller and smaller against the backdrop of this wave as it grows to an estimated 100 feet tall. But because of how the video is shot, they're not able to estimate the exact height. It's only a guess. So he is not given the world record for this height. But when you watch the video, it is amazing how big it is. And one wrong turn could have meant disaster for him with how big this was. Garrett would go on to have 8 Guinness Book of World Records. And though his tallest wave of all time record would be broken, since this 100-foot wave could not be verified, he's still known as a big wave surfing god. They ended up making an HBO series about his 100-foot wave, and after he had this 100-foot wave, he gained great notoriety. The HBO special really helped. The video went viral, and he was able to keep traveling and keep looking for massive waves. Then in January 2016, at Mavericks in California, Garrett suffered a horrific wipeout. This is the downside of surfing these big waves. When you fall, it's going to hurt a lot more. And he fell on a 60-foot wave, shattering his shoulder and his upper arm, which required major surgery, long rehabs, and he describes he was thrown like a skipping stone, pounded by the water repeatedly, rescued by jet skis who were able just to pull him from the rock. And sadly, they were actually filming this. He can go back and see probably the worst moment of his life. So after this, he took a little bit of a step back, focused on a foundation he co-founded with his family for youth in places like Nazaré, Portugal, where he surfed that big wave, Oahu, where he grew up, giving back to children with special needs, letting them enjoy being able to surf and enjoy the water just like he did. And he's essentially retired from big waves surfing. He said in the mid-2020s that it took a toll on his body, it's taken a toll on his life, and he still occasionally tackles a big swell, and he stays deeply connected to Nazaré community as his wave record has been broken multiple times. And the current record is from February 2024, when Sebastian Studnar almost qualified for the 100 when he rode a 93-foot wave, breaking the previous record of 80 at the same location as Garrett, Nazaré, Portugal. My question for you is, would you even go to Nazaré, Portugal, knowing they have these waves? Because frankly, that just scares me like crazy. What do you think? The question is, would you be okay having a record that's not recognized, knowing you beat the world record, or do you want the recognition? It's a tough one. I want to thank you for listening to today's Daily Sports History. If you like this, please share it with a friend. Share it on your social media. There's a little share button probably where you're listening to, because that is our best way to continue to grow. And the more that we're able to grow this, the more episodes I can do and the more deep dives I can do, bringing them to you as much as I can. We'll see you on the next one.